It's tough to maintain your energy every single call after call after call for months, weeks, years, whatever. But what you have to do to maintain this is just make a protocol. Before every call, is there a way to make sure your energy is in check? So, what I've learned in the past year is to have a pre-call checklist to be able to remind yourself what the characteristics and what your state should be going into this call to have the most productive call you can have possible. So it's different for everyone, right? Different people want to think of different things to be able to uphold those characteristic traits. How can you find it out though? What you want to find out is what the characteristic traits of a successful closer are. But sometimes it's pretty hard to think of that if you don't know what they are anyway. What I did and what you can do as well is figure out what an unsuccessful closer looks like. So let's go through it. An unsuccessful closer, a closer that doesn't perform, a closer that isn't on top of his game. First one, what I came up with is unaccountable. They're irresponsible, they can't be trusted. They don't admit to what they've done wrong, and they're not accountable for any mistakes they make. All right? Next one, they're selfish, they only care about themselves or herself. It's 2024. They aren't focused on helping people, they're just focused on getting a sale, just focused on themselves, right? Next one, they're judgmental. They're not understanding of people's situation. They judge people. They're not curious, right? Next one, they don't focus on their health. Don't exercise. They have a lack of self-discipline. Not a leader. They're a people pleaser. And they're not someone who can lead people. They're not someone who people follow. Assumptive. Instead of asking questions, they're just assumptive of people's problems. They're assumptive of what people have going on instead of actually asking. Argumentative, egotistical, self-centered. Instead of helping someone in objection handling, they just argue with them, right? They're egotistical, they don't want to help. Not listening. They don't listen to people. They don't make it a priority to actually understand someone's situation. Last one that I came up with is they lack integrity. They don't do what they say they're going to do, so their word doesn't mean much. Now, to come up with the successful closer, the characteristic traits of a really good closer, what you do is just do the opposite. A successful closer, what I came up with is they're responsible. They're highly trusted. They're accountable, meaning what they say they do. They're selfless, they're caring, they aim to serve. So they don't think, how can I close this person? They think, okay, how can I serve this person? How can I help them as much as possible? They're non-judgmental. Instead of judging someone for their situation and giving their views on it, they're not judgmental. They're open-minded. They're open to new perspectives, not even just on sales calls. Next one, powerful. They're strong. They're healthy, extremely disciplined, and they take ownership for everything that happens in their life. They have complete accountability. They're a leader. They say it how it is. They're honest, truthful, genuine, and most importantly, they're authentic. Next one, curious instead of assumptive. They're asking questions. They're confused. Egoless, non-combative. Instead of arguing, they're just egoless. They just accept and they just work to help. Efficient listener. They listen profusely. Last one, they do exactly what they say they're going to do. Now, off the back of this, you should embody this, right? Before every single call, and remember this and be conscious about this. It's going to be different for different people. So what I would say for yourselves, if you want to maintain your energy, look what a successful closer looks like for you. Have a think, write it down, and write the opposite. So let's get into a pre-call checklist. Okay, you guys are probably thinking, what is a pre-call checklist? A pre-call checklist is something you read and you remind yourself of before every single call to be able to remind yourself the state, the characteristics, the identity you should have to be able to attack the call with as best skill and success you can. So let's go for it. Off the top of my dome, a pre-call checklist. First thing that comes to mind is I want to help this person. I am going to help this person as much as I can, not caring about closing a deal. Okay, so that's the first thing that I want to remind myself after every single call. I'm going to help this person. I don't give a fuck about the deal. So objection handling. I don't want to be aggressive. I don't want to be combative. I want to be curious and not judgmental. When handling objections, I am curious, not judgmental. So this is going to remind me that I'm not supposed to just attack someone and battle someone. I'm supposed to be curious in terms of what's holding them back and try to help. Okay? Next one, let's have a look. Selfless. This is not about me making money, but it is about serving the prospect and changing their beliefs for the better. Authentic. I think this is super important for me specifically. It's important that I don't lie, I'm authentic, and I'm myself, right? So I am ruthlessly authentic. Excuse the spelling, I'm not perfect. So I'm ruthlessly authentic. Okay, we don't need to have too many for this checklist, right? We don't need to complicate it too much. Just a few points that are going to remind you how to approach the call. I am an expert listener. I have a detached ego and I'm non-combative. And the last one that I think is important is I am abundant in everything. This is going to remind me that, look, if this person doesn't close, it doesn't matter. Money comes and goes. It's going to come back. So what I would do is I'd write this down on a piece of paper. I'd have this on a post-it note. I'd have this everywhere so that before every single call, I can read over this and think, I'm going to help this person. You know, I'm not combative. I'm not judgmental. I'm an abundant in everything. And what this is going to do is put me in a state of energy. It's going to put me in a state of abundance. It's going to put me in a state where I really want to help someone. Even if I'm feeling shit, even if I'm feeling like I can't really be asked, I read over this, it's going to remind me. So this is how to do a pre-call checklist. What I would say is I'd write it specifically for yourself and remind yourself what a top closer does, thinks, and acts like. Hope this helps. Any questions, let me know. Bosh.